Good morning, my friends. Good morning. Tom McKenna here from Coach Realtors. Just wanted to do a quick video based on some conversations I've had the last few days, and this is going to be 3 things that Zillow does not tell you. Now, Zillow is arguably in the top 3 of search engines in the United States. If you've seen the Saturday Night Live skit on Zillow as the new adult website that most adults spend their evenings looking through Zillow ads. It's a powerful tool, something I use in my business. I do a lot of work through Zillow, and it's a very effective tool. But there are a few things about Zillow that aren't particularly clear for the average homeowner or the average home buyer. And I want to talk quickly about 3 of those things. The first, and something that really affects people looking to buy a home, especially in Long Island and Nassau or Suffolk, is property taxes. Now, if you ever look at a listing on Zillow, you can go down to the property history section at the bottom. It'll tell you about prior sales of that house, how much it sold for, when it sold, and then there's a tax history section. That tax history section, while partially correct, can omit some additional taxes that are part of that are going to be part of your expenses as a homeowner there, particularly in Nassau, Long Island, particularly in incorporated villages that have additional village taxes. Village taxes are almost never part of the Zillow listing as far as the public record. It will be general taxes and school taxes. So I can have someone call me about a house and say, Tom, I saw this fantastic house online and it's in Malvern, beautiful little incorporated village, and the taxes are only $7,000 a year. And then I'll have to say, hold on a second, let me just double check a few things and go through the actual tax records. And I find out, well, the general school taxes are $7,000 a year, but there's also an additional, $3,000 a year in incorporated village taxes, or $4,000 a year. That makes a very big difference on your bottom line when working with a mortgage company about how much of a house you can afford. So again, the first thing that you need to be mindful of in looking at a Zillow listing as a home buyer is the tax section. And the other 2 things I want to mention are somewhat similar to each other, but there's some slight differences. The first are foreclosure properties. A lot of times a house will be posted on Zillow and someone will call me and say, wow, Tom, I'm looking in this neighborhood and the average house price is $600,000, but look, this house is only $300,000 in that neighborhood. Wow, can we look at it? What's going on with this house? And then I'll have to look, and I'll have to usually explain that actually it's not a traditional listing. It's a bank foreclosure. And it's a sight unseen. It's no access to the house type of listing. This also happens for with homes that are tenant occupied and the tenants won't leave, and the owner just wishes to sell the house and get rid of it. You'll see these very, very deep discounts on houses. So sometimes if it looks too good to be true, it can be too good to be true. And I've had to have some conversations with, and some folks are fine with that. There's some investors that this is what they do. These are the types of houses they buy. And it's a great deal for them. Which brings me to my third point. Well, but again, before I get to the third point, but again, for the average home buyer looking to get a full 30-year mortgage, with 5 or 10% down, it's not really the type of house that's going to work for them, or the type of financing that'll work. Which brings me to the last point, which I've had several issues with this summer, are auctions. Now, auctions, it's similar in that they'll come up on Zillow and someone will see it as a fantastic price for a house in a neighborhood that's usually much more expensive than that. And the fine print is not always there, as far as the fact that it's actually not a traditional sale, it is an auction. And like some of the bank foreclosures, there can be limited or no access to the inside of the house, which means you can't do inspections, which means you can't do, appraisals will be difficult. Usually you will not be able to get that type of house with a traditional mortgage. So for the traditional, young family or person looking to buy their first house with, a smaller down payment to finance something over 30 years in a traditional mortgage, it's not going to work. And it's something, these are conversations I've had to have with a lot of clients, and it's, an education process about how these things work. So Zillow is a great resource. It can show you a lot of information, and it's a great way to have, thousands upon thousands of houses, at your fingertips to be able to search them and look for them and try and find the right house. And it's a very effective tool, but new home buyers out there, you sometimes need somebody to help you decipher some of these things. And again, some things cannot always be as they seem. Again, great tool, but you can use some help sometime to decipher some of these things. So again, Tom McKenna, Coach Realtors. 3 things that Zillow doesn't always tell you, but they're 3 things I'm happy to help you with and discuss. So have a great day. Take care. And as always, I'm here to help.